Hi guys, welcome back. So I'll go over with the market first, and then I'll do an update on Lkco about why it went up so much again today, and then I'll do a follow-up update on TAL after my video yesterday, and in the end I'll update our recent stocks. Now today was the quadruple witch day. That's why it was a lot of up and down, very volatile. All the index were dropping quite a lot. The VIX went up 16%. What a spike. Look at Dow Jones. Looks super scary, right? Dropping 1.58%. That's a lot for Dow Jones, with spike of volume too. All the index were down. S&P 500 down 1.3, Nasdaq down 1.92. At some point, it looked like a V-shaped recover, but in the afternoon, dive again. On the other hand, the Shanghai Composite Index had a very good closing yesterday, so I do think it looks like the pullback is finished. At least for now, it's bounced back at the support. The purple line was what I drew long time ago. I expected to come back down from the high and get supported to bounce back up. So let's see if it's still true. But the closing was very good. Still managed to stay above, even though during the day it looked pretty bad, but it recovered most. Let's see if Monday market would be affected by the US market today. Same thing with the Hang Seng Index. It's looking better because it has done a deep pullback and now it's bouncing back up, growing 0.85%. What's even better was the Hang Seng Tech Index, 1.72%. So you will see a lot of the Chinese techs might have signs of rebound now. That's why today in the US market, a lot of things were down except the VIX and CQQQ, because it contains mostly the mega cap of China like Tencent, Meituan, Baidu. And the fear and greed index is back to fear, quite close to extreme fear actually. After a few weeks of bull run, the index went from fear to neutral, and today had drove it all the way back to fear. Because all the index look quite scary today, especially Dow Jones. Look at this vertical diving. Some people might think the Dow Jones had turned bear. I think it's too early to tell yet, even though the chart looks extremely bad and bearish. But the thing is, Dow Jones represent industrial and a lot of recoveries too. But if you look at the recovery plays I mentioned for these days, like the airlines for example, right? United Airlines is up, Delta Airlines is up, showing buy-in volume. You see, big buy-in volume. Even though Dow Jones was down quite a lot today, there was definitely capital buying the dip there. American Airlines is up. Spirit Airlines is down 0.6%. All of these airlines, I think it's looking bearish on the chart, but I suspect the smart money is buying the dip, so that's why I recommended airline for a hedge against tech stocks. You see, Royal Caribbean is down 0.8%, CCL is down 0.8% as well. Mesa is down 1.8% because it's a much smaller cap, so more volatile. But overall, I think even though the Dow Jones went down so much, it looked so scary, the recovery stocks didn't drop that much. Usually, if Dow Jones drop 1%, the recovery can easily drop 5 to 10%. But the fact they are staying mostly flat and even slightly up, showing buying volume, it's looking interesting, and I think it's still not a bad idea to hedge against the tech with these. And also because the Chinese market were running good last night, that's why some of the Chinese stocks were saving my portfolio today. I hope it's for you too. Avoiding a lot of the big dip from the tech sector. Because what looks the worst is not just Dow Jones, it's also Russell 2000, representing the small caps. It is down 2.27% today. This morning I said we have a support at 223. I didn't expect it to be closed that fast. After hours, still dropping. The gap got filled within a short time. Because the quadruple witch day, it's for a lot of the institutions and investors to change their portfolio, change between the different sectors for the next quarter. So there would be a lot of up and down with different index and individual stocks. It's normal. So that's why today a lot of the tech stocks were down, and especially the ones that grew quite a bit before, that had rebound like more than 70% from the bottom. That's why during these past few days I kept reminding everyone to take some profit that had a good run up, move it to the stocks that's still lying down on the floor, or hedge with the recovery plays. As most of the stocks that were having a big dip today or these few days was mostly the ones that were growing well before. So I suggested to buy the dip of the stocks that had shown the bottom, showing good opportunity. Example like Douyu, ticker symbol DOYU. It was growing 4.8% after market continued. I think it's still looking good. VNET up a little bit but got rejected by the 60 MA. So I think it would consolidate and continue growing. It's looking pretty good. Fell down from 6.8%. But I think this is to digest the selling pressure from the people who were trapped before. So this is completely normal. I would dig deeper into this company because the industry is definitely interesting potential. Data center in China, more and more companies will need it. Yesterday I said the HOL is waking up. It seems like finally waking after a week of resting. Growing 6% today. Hopefully it can continue. And also the tech stocks related to Hang Seng Index, like Baidu was up, and also Baba. I think Baba has formed a double bottom. Now there was a surprise today. It was the breakout of Miniso, ticker symbol MNSO. It was breaking out during the day but then got back down because I think it was trying to test the selling pressure from a lot of shares trapped at the top. So it did a breakout and went back in. So I suspect the breakout might be next week, the real one. Look at today's buy-in volume. What a spike. It's the biggest day of volume since the IPO. Nobody realized that. It's silently breaking out. So I think next week might show opportunity to buy in. So we can keep an eye on it for next week. But of course, nothing beats the winner today to be Lkco. Another 22% up. That was a great run-up. Today's run-up was quite necessary, as I said last night, that we are at the support level. And if we cannot have another run-up, it would break the support and then it would take much longer to digest and would look much weaker. But today's run-up had saved the day to prevent the movement from looking weak. So what drove it to run up 22% today? And it was the company announcing Lkco's contract win for new generation traffic control network and smart highway demonstration project. So Lkco will be responsible for the development and implementation of 3D real-life highway digital management system for the new generation smart highway demonstration project for the Changzhou Expressway. It will provide real-time road information and intelligent operation management to support the latest smart transportation such as lane navigation, autonomous driving, road coordination, and vehicle road collaboration V2X, connecting vehicle to everything, increasing safety and decreasing congestion for improved road maintenance and management. So, in case this is hard for you to understand, you can watch my very first few Lkco videos where I talked about how their technology will help the government big strategy and mission into building smart cities, smart traffic, smart transportation, the core technology and a key role into achieving the autonomous driving, connecting vehicle into everything to make decision from the cloud based on data. That is the ecosystem I described before and what I believe would be the big mission of the smart city. And I said that I believe somewhere in China there is some module city being built to be the first group of smart city, and once the module city is refined, it will be expanded to many other cities in China or outside the country as well, carried by the One Belt One Road project. That is my vision of the company based on my vision of what the government wants to achieve by the smart city in the next 5 to 10 years. And this, I believe, is just a very beginning of that, and it had helped me confirm my vision since the beginning. So it is no surprise to me, but I'm very happy that they are achieving it step by step, as I expected they would. So I'm very excited to see the progress, and I'm also very excited to see the company is getting more active to engage with investors. We need more news like this, but I believe they will start to have more and more good news coming, more and more catalysts. This is a very small company connecting to a very big mission. The reason why most of us were excited about the company for. So I believe right now we are just at the beginning of the journey. So the share price is reflecting that, but not only because I think these days movement was a lot of shaking, making people cut loss or take profit. so then they can drive up later. So you can see it was a lot of shaking up and down. So Lkco is really the best looking chart among all the growth stocks or penny stocks almost, because before the big correction back in January or early February, I assume whatever growth of penny stocks we buy in, even after the rebound for 1 month, we might still be at loss for 30 to 50% easily, even after the run up. But Lkco, if you bought in early February, you are up to 300%. As of today, the profit ratio is 92%. So that means less than 8% of the Lkco holders are actually at loss. Most of us are making profit, and this makes the share price run up easier because less people are trapped up there. Now it's only in mid-February, so that's why Lkco's movement is better than 99% of the penny stocks. So today we easily push through the resistance of 2.08. It's back to be a support, and we have another support around 2.28, resistance at 2.5. It has gone up to a new platform, so hope it can consolidate there and push through within the next few weeks. But the good thing is we don't have a lot of people trapped at the top, not a lot of selling pressure to digest for now. And with the trading platform starting to be available for a lot of people, we might expect more people to FOMO in and might help drive up the share price. But at the same time, the institutions would need to do some shaking. But after this previous high in February, around 3, after we push through this resistance, we're talking about 6. Yeah, next target is aiming for 6 after 3. How exciting. So Lkco was the winner and saving the day for a lot of us. But at this point, if you have not bought in before, I don't suggest to FOMO or increase your holdings significantly at this point. Even though we believe in this company, it had gone up a lot already. I remember the first time I looked at Lkco, the first time I talked about it, it was 100 something million. First time we bought in, it was 150 million. Right now, the company's market cap is 770 million. And after the run up, who knows when the institutions would do heavy shaking. It might keep going up, but one day come down a lot. And if you're unlucky, you might end up buying at the top and trap for a while. That's just my advice. That's why I would just build a heavy position before the run up and try not to keep adding afterward. What I bought in recently was just what I trimmed before. Just like Lkco, I built a heavy position back then, and after a crazy run up from 3 to 15, I didn't add any because stocks like this is very volatile. See, from 3 to 15, back to 6, and then 11 again, and back to 6 again. So very volatile. So another one that was shining today was actually, ironically, TAL. Surprisingly, it was the one that's growing the best out of all the education stocks, because usually it's the worst one that dropped the most compared to EDU or others. But today EDU was slightly dropping 0.5%, while TAL grew 8.5%. Either there were a lot of short covering the position, as I think TAL might be the most shorted one, or there's something that the institutions know and we don't. And that's why they are buying the dip action, because the volume was not bad actually today. The biggest green bar for a long time, ever since the IPO I think, but still not as big as the selling volume for all these days. So to add on to what I said yesterday, I expect there is possibility that the government might have very strict regulation and limit these private tutoring institutions into number of like 3 to 5. That's extreme case. So restrict the institutions to get a license or qualification to run this kind of institution and eliminate a lot of players. And also I suspect the government might incorporate this kind of institution with the official school, daytime school, because it is a demand unless they change entirely the education system of the examination, right? But it's not happening right now, at least not for the next decades. So business like this would be necessary. And in order to lower the cost for parents to raise child, one way is to incorporate these education or private tutoring institution with the school. Like the government would combine the two systems together. And I said that if that's the case, then I think TAL would for sure be one of them, if not the only one, to be incorporated with the system. And for very extreme case I thought about would be the government might actually want to buy the whole company, so then they can fully integrate it with the public school system. But that would mean they would have to take the company private and pay the shareholders with a fair price per share. But that would be an extreme case and my wild imagination here. But either way, I think if this makes sense, or if the institutions heard of this kind of rumors or insider news, it might be a motivation to buy the dip since the share price had gotten into cheap value. So I re-enter again this morning at 20.7, but I took a quite heavy position. I said in the Discord that if it comes back above the 21 support and hold, it would make this a false breaking support and drive up for a rebound. But for now, I would treat it as a trade. Next week, they would likely announce the regulation. So I think a lot of the investors or short-term traders would not want to keep the share throughout the weekend, because who knows what more black swan news can come out or what kind of regulation would come out for next week, right? But even so, the share price did not have a big sell-off in the end. A little bit, but it also bounced back up. So it looks like institutions are catching what people have sold. So I sold half of my shares already, took profit because I want to reduce the risk over a weekend and because I had some profits, so I can have a bigger tolerance of dipping if any further dipping next week. So that is the update on TAL, because it is quite strange, the divergence within the same sector, because they usually work together like the three EVs, NIO, Xiaopeng and Li Auto, but this time they're quite different. That is surprising for everyone. Definitely suspicious there. I still have the call option. What's surprising is that the share price had dropped, but my call option went up. So I'm actually profiting from my call option even though the share price dropped. This is again very interesting. The blockchain sector dropped overall because of the dipping of the market, tech stocks, and also Bitcoin. Bitcoin dipped quite a little bit today, 6% down, but I think it should have rebound probably next week or so instead of continue going down further. That's what I predict for now. So I think the blockchain won't do that bad, and also the dip is giving us good buying opportunity, I think. 9City dropped the most today, 12%, but I'm not worried at all. I put a buying order at 16.3 and I missed it by a little bit again. How nice. I hope next week I can still grab it. If it gives me the chance, I'll be happy to buy more. The market cap has gone down to 194 million. And we should remember, just a while ago, the 9 had raised the fund of 125 million US dollars, and the institutions bought it at $33 per share, and they just acquire the Canadian miners, looking quite good, quite promising. So I'm not worried at all. I just regretted I missed the buy-in order. I think it has good potential to double from here, but I would expect more from that. Even though it looked like it dropped a lot today, 12%, the selling volume, it's insignificant compared to the buying volume. So I'm not worried at all. Can drop 3%. It might look scary because it had been dropping for 3-4 days. I think right now it's just forming a consolidation triangle, looking like a bull flag, waiting for it to break out. SOS is also dipping a little bit, but it's at the support level and still not worried about it. QS, same thing, let it shaking. But once again, Lkco is giving us another good weekend. So congratulations to those who held through and off to another awesome weekend. Now, if you have enjoyed this video, please give me a big like and write me a great comment. And I will see you in my next video. That's it, guys. Hope you can find my videos helpful. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and give me a big like. Thank you.